In this video, I want to discuss how to tap into the passion frequency and manifest what you want. So let's discuss what the passion frequency is. The passion frequency is a frequency of abundance. It's assuming the wish fulfilled. You are already in the end state. I'm here right now on a ski trip and you can even see my ski boots heating right now. I just came up with this inspired idea for you guys while I was skiing and really in a passion frequency, and with making videos like this and doing online stuff. So I want to share with you guys from the bottom of my heart how I discovered this. It's because I used to suffer from anxiety for 3 to 4 years. It's like 7 to 10. Wait, it's like 10 years ago it started and I had it for 3 to 4 years. So 7 years or so I've been anxiety free. And on that journey I read actually hundreds of books, to change my life. And it really changed the way I view reality, changed my life pretty much. And I realized many cool things as a result of this. Most people, they're just kind of in the matrix. They're told to just like go to school, get good grades, climb the career ladder, do something safe, don't follow your dreams. People that are maybe, could be amazing musicians or something, or artists or creatives, they're told no, by their parents, you must do this, you must become a lawyer, a doctor, or do an apprenticeship, or play it safe, don't take any risks. We're not like that. I recall in my family, as a kid, me saying, and it's funny, I'm here in this hotel and there's a biography by Steve Jobs there. I'll show you guys. It says like Steve Jobs, and that's like amazing because I made a video on this channel about like success lessons from Steve Jobs. So that was a confirmation to me from the universe. It was like, okay, there's something about this, guys, And so, yeah, Steve Jobs also talks about the passion frequency. I find he says, you can't waste your life living someone else's dream, You must follow your own heart and intuition, and somehow it already knows where you want to go. So I believe like your intuition is your connection to source, It's where your inspiration comes from. And when you follow your intuition, powerful changes can happen in your life, I just intuitively came on this trip and it's been already life-changing for me to go ski. And I've seen so many like new ideas and downloads and everything. So I recommend following what you love, even if it doesn't make rational sense, You might think like, oh, this thing I love, this thing I'm passionate about, like, how am I logically going to make money with this? How am I logically going to sustain this? But that's the wrong way to go about it. You want to follow your passion, this frequency, and even business coaches, online business coaches or career coaches, some will say, like, some that have big followings online, they'll say, no, following your passion is bullshit. And to me, that's also part of the matrix, because those are people that succeeded maybe with brute force or by following a certain business model. Like, for example, if you looked into online business, you could start a social media marketing agency or AI agency. Now it's called, I believe. You could start high ticket coaching, sales, or something like this. But, well, high ticket coaching could be passion, that's fine. But like high ticket closing or whatever, all these, or e-commerce, But the thing is, like, is that actually, or any career, right? Is that aligned with your passion, with your heart and your mission? Or is that just another matrix you're creating? Are you building something that you're truly passionate about? Are you building something that you're excited about, where you're like, I'm passionate about this? This is why I'm doing this raw channel, because I'm passionate about just sharing freely my inspiration and ideas. This is the passion frequency that I'm bringing to you right now through this video, and I hope it lands with you and that you can feel it right now, guys. And so that's why I also have a ski channel, Andy Kloss Skis. You can check it out. It's been a passion. It just came out of nowhere, It's just like, I love skiing. I've been obsessed about it, and I'm just following this passion. And now as a result, it's like leading to things I can't even conceive, And that's what Steve Jobs says as well. He actually got kicked out of university, funny enough. And I also did, funnily enough, because, yeah, that's a whole different story. Let's not get into that. But he then dropped out, but he stayed on campus and he went to calligraphy class, right? And then in that calligraphy class, this formed modern typography and computer systems. Before that, it was all super ugly, and on a logical level, it would have never been like calligraphy, is going to produce anything great, but it actually did. His way of being different, following his unique soul, led to epic creations, And I feel like Apple isn't on that level anymore since Steve Jobs isn't amongst us anymore. But, he really embodied that passion frequency. Sure, maybe they had like personal issues and stuff with like family and all this stuff, and maybe it was controversial at work. But I'm just talking about that, follow your passion and create a meaningful career or business in your life, So once you begin to actually follow this passion frequency, you will be surprised, because it won't necessarily even feel like work to you, because you're doing what you enjoy doing anyway. And I'm not talking about instant gratification. I'm not talking about watching adult movies. I'm not talking about scrolling endlessly on social media. I'm not talking about TikTok, short form, Instagram, and all these scammy things. I'm talking about like deep work, what are you truly interested in? And maybe before you get to this, you need some personal development, in the sense of like, okay, if I'm just doom scrolling all day, fapping, watching adult movies, smoking weed, drinking all the time, I'm just like living a degenerate life or something, then maybe you're not connected to your passion yet. Maybe the first step is to actually just get into some personal development habits, to start doing a morning routine where you begin to meditate, you start your day right, you leave your phone ideally in a different room, you buy an old school alarm clock. This is what I do, the alarm clock is in a different room, and I just I just do my morning routine. I have this journal. Where is it? It's like the 6-minute journal, 7-minute journal, something is called, and I do that. And before I do that, I actually meditate for like 10 minutes, and then do a few minutes of visualization, which I then tap into, reprogramming my subconscious mind. When you visualize, your subconscious mind cannot distinguish between something that is real and something that is vividly imagined. So your imagination is actually a reality creation mechanism. It's a faculty of visualization, of imagination. Imagine images create, the images you have. That's why I recommend quitting the news and really becoming conscious about what you are consuming, what information are you taking into your ecosystem, because the inputs we have create the outputs that we get. The inputs lead to the results. So if you want to change your life, you have to almost remove a lot of negative things from your life first, and then begin to replace that vacuum with positive, inspiring, healthy habits. This could be skiing, meditation, reading books, morning routines. I definitely recommend you implement the morning routine. It is the single most thing that can change your life, by just committing to this one thing where you maybe get up. It doesn't even have to be long. I'm not saying do a 3-hour morning routine. That definitely doesn't work. Maybe you can do that on a Sunday when you have your day off or something, you have nothing else planned. But I get it, we're all busy people, right? So we don't have time to do an hour-long morning routine. So what I encourage and what I recommend is actually a morning routine, where you meditate for like 5 to 10 minutes, you visualize for a couple of minutes, you fill out the journal, where you write down. If you don't have this journal, you just write down 3 things you're grateful for, your plan for the day, and an affirmation. And then at the end of the day, you do like, how was my day? What could I improve? And then you're like, can't think of the other thing. But if you just do that, for example, that will be life-changing for you, And you just commit to this every single day, and you try and do a relatively good sleep schedule. This is something I struggle with as well, like consistent sleep. But try and like not mess up your sleep too much, or like go like crazy partying on the weekend, like taking drugs and drinking and all that stuff. That will just like ruin your vibrational frequency. You see, we are energy beings, we're spiritual beings having a human experience. And if you think about this physical matter, even myself, like it seems solid, the world seems dense, this table, I'm sitting at the chair, but they're actually just particles vibrating at different frequencies, mostly empty space. So it's actually, you could almost say it's like an illusion, right? Created by our consciousness in a way. So consciousness creates reality and matter as well. And we can dive deeper into quantum physics and the observer effect. For example, the double slit experiment, it kind of proved that an observation collapses the wave function. So literally, when we observe something or when we imagine something, we are collapsing the wave function, the infinite to the finite, So that's how powerful we are. We're literally creators. Like, we are in the image of God, if you will, to use a religious term, I think Jesus was very powerful, spiritual teacher who also taught this. He said, ask and it is given, given you shall receive. There's many like law of attraction references in the Bible, that you could even like Google Jesus law of attraction quotes and all this stuff, and you'll find powerful inspiration, And either way, if you'd like to work with me, you can schedule a free discovery call below. We can see if it's a good fit, And other than that, I will see you in the next video, my friend. Peace, and thanks for tuning in.